So with that, I would love to turn it over to you and to ask if you have any questions or thoughts or any other tips or tools that you use that maybe we haven't covered on today that we could talk about as well. But we'll spend a couple minutes just answering questions or going off where you desire.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes there is that line of feeling confident versus like, people perceiving you as being cocky, and as women, when we're like, oh yeah, I feel great, I look great, people are like, what's her deal, you know? So it's almost like, how do you like show positivity and confidence without kind of being like, seeming like you're better than someone or something like that? It's a tricky kind of thing.
Oh, it's an important question that you asked.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm interested because you said the word show someone. So I'm wondering if sometimes, is it not registering because you're trying to show that you are? Potentially.
This is something I've talked to my therapist about, but but that's because you want to exude confidence.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get mutual respect. I feel like a lot of times from people.
But you're exuding it for someone else. I think.
Maybe that's where it's harder.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for someone else, it doesn't seem genuine.
I think we have to be careful not to perform body confidence.
Yes.
Right? And I think the issue is right now we're exploring this in a public setting, trying to kind of unpack a lot of things that are actually quite personal in nature, right?
Yeah.
Where you're at on any given day with your body and how you feel about the relationship to your beauty and your appearance and your life is so personal that I think body confidence can't always be measured by a smile or even by just taking up space, right? It's a lot of things. But I think the performative piece can be tricky. And let's also be really clear. This world and this culture that we live in right now and that we help to co-create because we all live in it together has pitted women against each other quite a bit and has created, people think that confidence equals entitlement. And I think there's a big difference between those two. And I think it's important, especially for those that might be raising young kids or those who, I think it's important for us to remember that to be confident it's a personal journey. It's about a relationship that you have to all aspects of your life, not just body. That's why we put the word body in front of confidence. But the other part of this is that this is a solo journey that is about you. And so your marker of success is always going to be personal. So whether or not somebody reflects that back to you or approves of that or thinks you're too much or too little should honestly be none of our business.
It's not their permission at the end of the day. You're giving yourself permission to be as confident as you are able. And also it can be intimidating, and I think some people are in disbelief when you're like, I'm truly confident with myself. Oh, but don't you feel, no, actually, I really don't care if, I've got a few spots on my face or, I put on a few pounds or I'm, whatever it might be. And I think that can be jarring for a lot of people who are not in that space. So it might also be that reaction as well that you're experiencing.
It's because this is personal. I think people can get very triggered by what they perceive to be confidence or happiness, especially if somebody is not feeling that themselves. But that's where I feel like we really have to keep our lanes clean and with a lot of love and a lot of compassion, know everybody's walking this journey.
And I would say the more you become confident and full of self-love, you will attract that energy with the people around you. And sometimes you just have to realize, this is my tribe, this is my vibe, you know what? Other people, they're just not going to get it sometimes. And that's okay. They're not going to have the same level of confidence or self-love or understanding or spirituality, and that's just okay. And they're doing them and I'm doing me.
Amy Poehler has a great quote. She says, good for them, not for me. Right? It's just a great way to kind of remind yourself. So if you find yourself even feeling a little bit jealous or feeling a little bit comparison, it's like, good for them, not for me, right? It's just a way to kind of pull it back for you.
That's great. Anyone else got any questions?
I know one tool that's really worked for me, on my body positivity journey, is habit stacking. So obviously it's amazing to make a list of all the ways that you can improve your self-love or improve your life, but sometimes it can be overwhelming to be like, okay, especially around New Year's, I think okay, this year I'm going to go to this place, I'm going to save this much money, I'm going to lose this much weight, etc. But if you tackle a really small goal, one for me was drinking more water, so I'm like, okay, for the next month, all I'm going to focus on is drinking however much water I need. And then once I feel like I've accomplished that, then I move on to adding the next thing. So, constantly you're rewarding yourself and feeling more confident that you can achieve your goals, and over time you're building up to those bigger
Like that's
I'm so happy that you said that, because you said a word in there that I think is also really important, which is reward. I would use a word like acknowledge, celebrate, but it is about a focused point on what you have achieved versus a focused point on what you've not achieved.
It's like that, what you were speaking to earlier about like future versus now. It's like, what am I accomplishing now versus just always saying, I'm gonna drink more water, next year I'm gonna read 50 books. Like, it's what can I do right now?
And it's all we have is right now. This is what makes this work so powerful.
And that's an interesting one, I think, how I changed my relationship even with working out. Again, I would literally have an image of said model and set of measurements, say I was going to, and I was that wasn't my body shape. I was never meant to be doing that. So what I find is motivating for me at the gym and gets me excited is making small little goals. First off, I reward myself like I made it to the gym. My gym's downstairs in my house, and I'll still be like, good girl, it's 11 p.m. and you're here. And then, I'll reward myself by playing my favorite music. And then I'm gonna set little goals for myself that are actually realistic. I'm not gonna say, right, I wanna be able to do 100 pull-ups. Like, if I have that weighing over my head, it's just, come on, like,
right.
Yeah, be kind to yourself. So I set little things like, you know what, I'm gonna do 15 reps today. I did 12 yesterday, I'm gonna do 15 today. So I really, really like that.
I love
and I think
that
that's
idea.
really important.
What did you call it? Habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
I love it. I think that's a great.
It kind of reminds me of the word snacking, and I think we're kind
Even
of
better.
hungry right now. So
Habit snacking, habit stacking.
For me, it's been a little tricky to find the balance between, because obviously body confidence is a journey, and I love to work out and I love to be active, but not pushing it too hard and being hard on myself, and finding the balance between loving my body rather than just trying to change it. And something that's I've tried to keep at the forefront is work out because you love your body, not because you hate it. And I've seen that so much recently. And that's really been my mantra, going into the gym. I'm not here to get a skinnier waist. I'm here because I enjoy it and I want to take care of my body. So that's been.
you're not punishing your body.
Right.
You're doing so much more than that when you move and you work out as well. You're detoxifying, it's helping with your anxiety, any stress, it's helping with your flexibility, your mobility. So when you get older, you're gonna actually be able to do things and live. And so again, it can be hard because for the longest time, workout and diet culture has had this toxic message that if you're going to the gym and that's why there's a lot of personal trainers who I can't even talk to, because what's your goal weight? What are you working towards? I'm like, I'm here to have a good time because I'm going to feel great after this, and I'm going to sweat, and I'm going to play my music, and I'm going to enjoy this moment. So definitely that's important.
I think in all of my experience talking about body image over the last 2.5 decades, the biggest takeaway I think is what you just said right now, which is that your body doesn't need to be fixed.
No.
It's not a project to be worked on in a way, it is, it's like I said in the beginning, it's sort of like the home base, right? And so you want to, and I'll actually build on your habit snacking a bit and say it's maybe a little bit of self-love stacking, right? So every time you get an experience that lights you up, makes you feel good, makes you feel proud, makes you feel connected, hold those and multiply those more than the voice that's like, must do this, need to do this, making that to-do list. Because I think that aggregate is so important to know that there is nothing wrong with us.
No.
I will say it again, there is nothing wrong with us. And if you come from that mindset, then it's not to be fixed, it's to your point, it's to be enjoyed or explored or experienced. And what a wonderful gift to give your child, what a wonderful gift to share with your friends, what a wonderful way to go experience the world. Because this is the body we're in the moment of time that we have, and we're gonna live it to the fullest. And I know that sounds pretty grandiose, but it's something I've heard over and over again for so long from people who have accomplished a balanced relationship with their body image and their self-confidence.
Yeah. One of my friends, Matt, I know we have to wrap soon, but one of my friends, Matt, and I think it's really nice hearing from a male perspective, he actually went through extreme weight loss, and he said he got to the place where he was hearing these quotes, and he was like, you know what it is? I'm not at the place where my body feels like my home. It feels like a new house. I know I'm in it, and he said I had to start decorating it and clearing it out and living in it. And he just said, so he dyed his hair pink and he started painting his nails and he got some tattoos and he did all these things because he was like, I really want to celebrate and get to know this body. I want to challenge it. I want to move it. I want to see what it's capable of. And then I'm going to feel like I've created this home.
I love that. I will say that there's one other exercise I wanted to mention that I think goes along with what we did today in the workshop, which is meditation. Because I think we did some great exercise work, transferring kind of our thoughts to the page and then sharing it out. But I also want to encourage us to go within and to take some quiet time to like reflect, to think about those things. I think Iskra and I are gonna put together an Aerie meditation that we could be available for audio download, so that if there's some boost that you need just to kind of get focused and centered, I think that would be another great tool. But I love a lot of what you say all the time, but what I love that you said right now is that, and I think we both agree with this, that in order to really love yourself, you have to know yourself. And that is a journey. And so that does not have a beginning, a middle, or an end, right? We're on it. And so have grace in that process and enjoy getting to know who you are at various stages of your life, right? Whether you're in high school now or new motherhood or just graduated college or in your career space and building, like this is you and this is the beauty of being you. And that's what gets to be celebrated.
Love it. Yay.
Love it. Love you
so
guys.
much
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us.
Yeah. Awesome.